Remember Shannon.
Until I looked at myself in the mirror one day and I was disgusted with what I saw. So I said, you gotta make a change, man.
It's all about fun, laugh, and get through life. That's what it is.
I find you have everything to gain with Fresh, and without him, everything to lose.
Then I'm gonna lay you down, just like a bridge over troubled water.
Hi, and welcome to the show tonight. We are so excited to be here. Thanks for joining us. And my co-host, Dr. Vanessa DeDanzi. Hi, Vanessa.
Okay. Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
Well, you know, we got a talented young man on the show tonight that I can't wait to talk to. I mean, he's just such a great painter. I can't believe the talent that this man has. And we want to talk to him about this genius talent that God gave him. So let's welcome him to the show, Mr. Kenny Altidor. Hi, Kenny.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you?
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, thank you for taking the time to join us because we know you are such a busy ambassador. You know?
That's right.
And we just couldn't wait to talk to you today because of all the exciting paintings that you've been doing for heroes, you know, in our era and stuff. And it's like, you know, when I saw you, you came over from Haiti when you were 16. You're married. You have children. Am I saying the right things here? I just want to make
right
sure.
here.
Now, I want to ask you, right?
Dr. Vanessa proved that.
I'm just like blown away and so amazed at your talent, you know, painting these murals across the state of our different heroes and stuff. Now, when you came over here at 16 years old, did you already have that talent or did you develop it after you got in the States here?
Well, I want to thank Ms. Sharon and Dr. Vanessa for having me on this show. Well, to answer your question, since I was 10 years old, I started learning how to draw and paint, you know, back home in Haiti. So I came here at the age of 16.
So now when you were, get up, Vanessa.
What inspired you? Why painting?
Well, good question. And I remember when I was coming from school, I was 10 years old, and it's a gift from God. And I remember I was coming from school. I saw this guy named 13OCT20. That's my art mentor. When I saw him painting a portrait of someone, I was so excited. And I stood behind him for a while, and I told him that, hey. And then I was like, I could do that too. So, you know, in Haiti, you know, when you're kids, you know, adult, they call you like, you know they could beat you up, they could do anything to you. You know, you have to be polite to them, otherwise they're gonna tata you or call your parents. And I was coming from school at the age of 10 years old, and he was like, "Hey, you did your homework already?" I tell him, "No, I didn't do my homework yet." He was like, "Okay, go home, go do your homework." I was like, "Okay, I would do it." He says, "Do you like what I'm doing?" I tell him, "Yeah, I love what you're doing." And he said, "Do you know how to draw?" I tell him, "Yes, I know how to draw." And he was like, "Let me see what you do." And I told him, "No, I don't have it with me. I have to go home." So what I did, I ran 10 blocks. And I came back less than 5 minutes. That guy was so shocked. It was so shocked when I told him that how far I leave from the time that I came back to him. He was so shocked. And I showed him some little drawing that I was doing, little kid stuff. And he was so excited. And he saw the passion that I have. And since then, he be like, "Okay, you know what? Come to my place at 9:30. 8:50. I'm behind this guy's door." I wanted to learn so bad. And then you know, I take it from him. He teach me everything that I need to know. And since then, I've been become an artist, and I could give back to my community.
All right.
So Kenny, can you please explain? Like, I'm still trying to figure out how you get this on the wall. Do you draw like the picture of the person first with, you know, all the facial features, and then you just paint it in? I mean, because I'm just trying to figure out how does this work? 'Cause,
You already know, Miss Sharon, I've been doing art since I was 10 years old. It's like a second nature to me. So before I start doing it, I already visualize it, know how big it's gonna be, and I already know everything, the dimensional, everything is gonna come out. I've done so many murals. I've been doing a lot of murals in my short time, and I've become a professional at it. So it's my second nature.
Okay, so you can just look at me and at my features, and
That
then
is
you can
correct.
just put me on the wall like that. I mean, this is so amazing. I just can't
If
even
you give
picture
me
it.
permission, Miss Sharon, if you give me permission, of course, I could do it with the brush. I used to do it with pencil. I used to like sketch with pencils, from the picture, sketch it with the pencil. From now on, it's like, the more you're doing, the more you're getting better
Then
at
the
it.
more you get it.
Yeah, so I just use the brush with the paint and then start sketching it.
Right,
Well,
so
look, you have done so many famous people. I mean, Bob Marley. I mean, oh my God, we love him, Bob Marley. And you did Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman. These are beautiful. Bob Marley, look at him. I
Yeah,
mean, beautiful.
yeah,
And
nice.
Malcolm X and her Herman Tubman. I mean,
Harriet
Malcolm X,
Tubman.
he was the man. He was the man.
Mhm.
And she, Miss Tubman, the great things that she did was, out of the slavery. But my favorite ones, now all of them are the favorite ones and everything, but Pops Smoke, and when you did his, you say it was because of the inspiration that you wanted to show people to make it because of all that was going on, the gun violence and stuff that was going on, that you wanted it to be this to like people see this, but and then think about putting these guns down, and stop killing each other. Him and George Floyd that got killed. This was like the inspiration about the gun violence and going on. So tell us about that. When you painted those two men.
All right, great. I don't know if you noticed that I've been doing first responders, heroes. I've been doing murals for fallen heroes, fallen officers over 15 years. So for my almost since 2003. So anything happened to officers out there, I'm always in the front line and honor those heroes for the service, the sacrifice, put the life in danger to protect us. So it's always an honor for me to pay tribute to them, to project their picture as some type of remembrance for the memories. So from doing those things, the Joy Floyd incident just happened, and you could see a lot of rally, people going crazy, and the cops, community, they don't like what happened to George Floyd. So the way he was, the way he got killed it was horrific. And as an artist, I wanted to bring some kind of peace because the way they was trying to paint all the police officers, keep saying all the officers are bad, they're all paint,
Exactly.
they're this, they're that. So I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use my artwork as a type of will to bring some kind of bridge between the NYPD and the community, not only in New York but all over the world. So what I did, I picked a picture of George Floyd to, we didn't like what happened the way he died. I didn't agree with it. So what I did, I called the precinct, called the 69 precinct, reached out to a few community leaders, and we start painting George Floyd together. So people start seeing, oh, now cops painting George Floyd. So they could see that not all cops are bad. Of course, we're aware of the bad apples as well. So I use that painting not only to pay tribute, but to get them connected, working together as one, So when I start doing it, cops stop by, kids, community leaders start painting together. I was like, okay. So while I was doing this, and we have a big unveiling, of course, we get the social media, all the news media came out, which was a good event, successful event. And then while I was doing Joy Floyd, even the youth, good friend with Pop Smoke, was helping me with the painting as well. And it was like, Kenny, we lost one of our good friend, Pop Smoke. I didn't even know what Pop Smoke is. I was like, okay. And when I find out, from searching from the site, I heard he was a great rapper. And then he was from the gang members. I was like, okay. And to be honest with you, I was kind of scared. I didn't want to go and do it. So I was like, you know what? Let me give back to the community. And the guy's from Canarsie. I live in Canarsie. And I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and pay tribute to Pop Smoke. Certain people be like, hey, he's from the gang members. You better watch out. I get a lot of bad negativity.
Right.
But the moment I start doing the sketch, Miss Sharon and Vanessa, the whole community going crazy, taking pictures, taking videos. It's like I'm bringing something new. And I will show you some. If you go to my page, I post everything one by one just to let people know. But this guy was a great kid, I heard, and he was from the neighborhood. They love him. Not only in Canarsie, in Brooklyn, all over the place. People coming from Boston, Connecticut, come start taking pictures. I put a post. They keep over 600 people sharing it. I was like, wait up.
Right.
But I know he was, he got shot from his room. And I was like, you know what? Let me use that as some type of bridge, some type of message to stop the gun violence. Because, gun violence, going crazy in New York City. So I pay tribute to Pop Smoke at the same time, using his portrait is the way he died to send a message to the community.
Well, Kenny, this is great. This is great that you're able to use this platform. I'll revisit that when we come back from break.
Thank you.
But we'll be right back, I guess. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
This is where you rise, this is where you shine, this is where you become the greatest of all time. History in the making. This is history in the making. History in the making.
Vote for your life.
Hi, if you're just joining us, we're talking to our special guest, Mr. Kenny Altidor, our genius, who's how to paint murals all over the state, and it's just wonderful. And don't feel bad, Kenny, because I didn't know who Pop Smoke was either. I had to ask my daughter who was it. I asked my daughter who he was, and she was like, "What?" I said, "Why would I know who Pop Smoke is?" Right? So
I didn't know who
he was and everything, and then I realized that but it wasn't like I saw his name everywhere like I see the other rappers. I can pick out some of the other rappers, but I didn't like really hear his name a lot until
I didn't know his
he
name was
was
Lottie.
killed, and then that's when everybody started talking about it. But I mean, when these things happen, I'm really glad that you took that opportunity to do it, so it would, because when you was talking, I said I know it would bring people together because of how they looked at him, regardless of what he was involved in before, they would still be there or whatever. But
Correct.
like you said before, you know, I didn't have a problem with all the protesting and everything going on. I don't have a problem with that because I figured we knew. But I didn't like the idea of saying that all cops are bad. Because
I
to
didn't like
me,
that
all
either.
cops are not bad. What I feel is the department need to weed out the ones that don't need to be on the. Everybody's not cut out to be a police officer, you know,
Correct.
and just weed the bad ones out. What career you're in, and people in every career. So we can't say all of them are bad because you would never get me to say that because two cops saved my granddaughter's life. So you would never get me to say that all cops are bad. I just say get rid of the ones that are
Bad
doing
apples.
things we shouldn't be doing. And let's get this law put in place that if you commit a crime against our citizens, you are going to be prosecuted just like me or you or anybody else would, because it's this secret code that when police officers do something, they don't get prosecuted or they don't get time. That's just that secret code there. It's to me, that's the way I feel about it. And I might be wrong, but that's how I strongly feel about it. That we need to get a law saying if you commit a crime, then you're going to be punished just like anyone else is going to be punished. That's what I say. And then take the police to, because we need the police officers. Don't tell me
Most
we don't need.
definitely. Most
We
definitely.
need more today. That's what I feel. So you should have never taken any money away from them. But with all this gun violence going on, you're painting. If it can bring the young people together to see that we can work together with the police department. We can work together with community organizations and stuff. We all need each other. Why are we fighting against each other?
I agree. And well, I use that tools, you know, the gift that God gave me to bridge the gap between the cops and the community, and it worked so fine. And I remember when they was trying to throw water at the cops. I don't know if you remember that. They was
Right.
trying to dust all the cops with buckets of waters. So what I did, I put something together called, you know, we don't throw water at the cops. We wash the cars with it. So I put a great event together where the community, the kids, and I reached out to the precinct, and I was able to wash dozens of police officers' cars, and that message came out, went out. You know, I got to tell you, you know, we need cops. We need cops. Anything happen, we need the first responders. You know, accident, call the cops. Fire, call the cops. You know, got beat up. Anything, you call the cops. Even the bad boys call the cops. So we need them. So I didn't like the way they was trying to, you know, paint them and saying all cops are bad. So, you know, thank God I was able to use my art, my skills to give back and get everybody in one.
Right. Yes, Kenny, before the break, I wanted to applaud you for using this platform to bridge the fragmented gaps within the police department and the community is much needed. I'm at this, especially at this time. But my question is, other than murals, is your paintings available for sale? Do you do individualized paintings?
Yeah.
Good question. I did personal portrait as well. Let's say if you need a portrait of your husband, your kids, or somebody that passed away, you reach out to me. I could do one on canvas. I used to do a lot of them, and I figure, you know, it's good to do, to have painting at home, but I'm more like outdoor. Like I'm more like a muralist. Be out there, do big painting. I love doing that, to bring beauty to the, to the neighborhood.
Can you do murals on the white gates that you have in your yard, like in your backyard, the white gates? Can you paint on those gates?
I've done a lot of backyards, so I send you a few pictures. A lot of backyards.
Well, good. Because I want it on my gate. backyard. Yes.
Hey, just send me the picture and then I send you the quote.
Well, listen, Kitty, one question. Did you see the mirror that when you walking past the mirror, the eyes is moving with you?
Yeah, moving like you can see.
Tangible, yes.
Yeah, it just move with you. Move, the guy keep looking at you. Move that way, keep looking at you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, how does that work?
Well,
There's
listen,
mirrors
when
that
you do it-
go past.
Is this a certain paint? Is that a certain
Well-
paint that makes your eyes go?
Well, it's just natural, you know what I mean? When you're doing like, you do portrait, you want to make sure that
Are you sure that's not your imagination?
that
That when
come
you
out
look
exactly
at the picture,
just like the
it
picture.
looks like the eyes are moving. You're not imagining this now. You actually see these eyes move. These eyes move.
I'm telling you, they have fortress, Kitty. Don't make Kitty, back me up. I think you back me up, right?
Yeah.
Fortress painters, if you're looking and moving, it's moving like it's moving with you.
It's moving with you. That means it's real. It's real. You know?
Thank
And
you.
then now we have Mr. John Lewis. I mean, he was our famous person that fought for our rights, and for us to be able to vote. And this is why when I get angry with people when they be saying that they don't want to vote, they're not going to vote. When this is beat up over the head, beat down, just for us to, have that we can be able to vote. It's really disturbing people, do that. But now there's one other mural that you painted that I can't wait, for the opening. You already had the opening, but I know you're planning something else for it, and that was my son Childman. I tell you, when he passed, I cried as if he was I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was so hurt when I saw it on TV that he had passed away, because I had never heard anything about him being ill or sick. I mean, when he did Black Panther, now we found out he was sick when he did that movie and other movies. And like, how did this happen? And I didn't even know about it, It's really a shock. It's just wonderful. Thank you, Kitty, because that was, I think it just hurt a lot of people, but I tell you, I was really upset about that.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, Chadwick Boseman was a true definition of superhero.
Oh yes.
When he passed, I feel like, it was a role model to me and to the kids in general. We have a black superhero. We never see this. Usually you heard of Superman, Batman, Iceman, all the white man. Now we have a superhero. That was, and then when he passed, I was so angry at what happened, because that man was still playing that role, even though when he was not playing the movie. So he was out there, despite his suffering with cancer, he would still being a superhero, and I really appreciate that about him. And I wanted to pay tribute to this great man, and it was a great soul. Yeah. And it's not only your son; it's my dad.
Yes, right. I mean,
yeah.
Every time I think about it, and I'm so glad that they also have a picture of him in Disney World in Florida.
Yeah,
I mean, the little kid with the glove. I mean, I'm just so glad they paid so much to him in all different ways with the pictures and the paintings and other ways, because he was just such a role model. I know they always tell us that the kids are not supposed to look at other people as being their role models and stuff, but carry yourself in a decent way, in a respectable way. You can be a role model to someone else, you can be a mentor to someone else, it's all in how you carry yourself. And he just, he just carried himself in such a way. And I felt like if his life would have been a little bit longer. And I know God comes for us when he's ready to come for us, say anything. But I could just see him helping to bring people together, you know, with all of this stuff that's going on with, you know, the turmoil that we are in. This world is in turmoil. I don't even know how we're going to get out of this, because I know how we're going to get out. We got to fall down on our knees and humble to God. That's how we're going to get out.
That's the only way. That's the only way.
And nothing can do that, because people need to understand what's happening is not by no coincidence. It's all happening for a reason. So we need to get it together on how we treat each other, you know, or the young people. Like, it's nothing for them to pick up a gun and just take someone's life. What are you thinking about? Where did this come from?
Absolutely.
And this happened in the African American community.
Yes.
We are destroying ourselves. So
yes,
the more you shot your brothers, it's like you destroy your own mankind.
Yeah, it was already have to worry about the majority of them that is incarcerated for the mass incarceration, and the ones that's left, they're killing each other. But I want to also add to Bozeman's death, also brought awareness on colon cancer. Be so young. That is a rude awakening, because they have like the regular screening where individuals, men particularly, that are at age 50, which is now these things are outside of the norm for screening, because he got colon cancer in his 30s.
Yes.
In his 30s.
Yeah. Right. Well, I don't know what it is, Kenny, with men. What is it they don't not afraid, or what is it? Because it's not just with most men that you, in particular, even when you talk to their wives and stuff, they can't get them to go to the hospital to get a checkup. What do you think the fear is?
Oh, you asked me what thing is it? Well, listen, I think, you know, it's in the, you know, everybody's different. You know, I mean, everybody's different. Different communities have different way of approaching their health system. So I'm from Haiti. Of course, you know, my wife usually go to hospital, check herself. You know, of course I go, but it's really rare. So it's like everybody's different, you know, different community are different. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think it's well,
it doesn't appear to be. It doesn't appear to be who they're from or which city. What? It's just like when, for some reason, they just don't want to go get their checkup from the doctor.
They only come when it's broken. Everything's done.
They have to walk the doctor.
They only come when it's broken. You can't do anything for them. Don't you worry, I ain't in a hurry. It's too late.
Correct. It looks like there's music in the background.
Whose music is that? That's yours?
I think it's the bishop is playing music. Bishop is playing music in the background. Bishop is playing videos.
I guess it's about time for us to wrap up, Kenny. Then,
I think Bishop needs to answer that question.
Well, really appreciate you coming on and taking time, you know, to talk to us and everything. And if you got a few minutes, we do our after show to finish up any questions that we had to ask. If you don't mind sticking around, you know, we have a few more questions for a few minutes just to ask, you know. But we want to thank everybody for joining us today. We want to thank you for coming on and showing us his beautiful paintings. And if you have opportunity, you know, go and look at the murals that he has painted around state in the city here. And as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies. It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
Blam the trash, man, it's so tough.
Baby, don't you worry, I ain't in a hurry. Turn the music on, let's get the window blurry. Excuse my French, but on finira tous les deux nus sur le tapis. When I'm face down, we got no time to waste. Countdown, gonna fly to space, and I know you're gonna be begging me to stay, but I don't want no love, don't have the time to get involved, and I don't ask for too much. I want you to wind up my waist, touch my body like clay. Come take a dip in the waves, you know that I'm for when we play down right.
Slow touch, like I just driving by.
Hi, we're back for our after show, and our guest today was Mr. Kenny Altidor, and we was talking to him about all his beautiful murals that he has painted around the city and state. And Kenny, is Kenny still with us, or did he have to leave?
I'm still here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm here.
We're not going to keep it on, but I wanted to ask you just to do a follow-up, the question on, what's going on with young people. What do you think all of this is coming from? With the young people now feel that, is it because they feel that they don't have nothing else that they can do or get involved in? How do you feel? Because you be around a lot of young people all the time and stuff. And like you say, you're trying to use your painting as well. It's causing them to feel that it's okay for them to just, kill each other like this. These are young people, like in their teens. A lot of them are in their teens.
Correct. It's all coming from the back end. Some of them grew up without a father, no dad around to give them guidance, be like a role model for them. They're very frustrated. They're stressed. So basically, together and create some kind of anger and towards their own kind, and activities too. They don't have enough activities to do. So I remember when I was 20, I had to find a way, 20 years old, going to 21. So I teach martial art as well. I'm a first degree black belt in full contact. So we talk about that. That's a different chapter. I learned how to fight, go to martial arts school. And I went to electronic fix, become a technician. And I was still doing art. So the more time you have in your hands, the more time, you wanted to do negative stuff. So I figured if they create some type of creativity, like, sport, martial arts, some type of handling stuff, for them to learn skills. So they don't have time to waste, go out there, hang out with friends. They will, choose the right path. I think that's what they need right now. That's the reason why they're acting out.
Do you offer these?
You deal with young people.
I'm sorry?
Vanessa, I was asking her view on it because you deal with young people.
Yes, I was just curious. Do you offer these type of services, teaching them how to paint, teaching them karate, martial arts?
Well, to the art part, I train them indirectly. Let's say you're walking outside, I'm doing a mural. You're working with your daughter, and your daughter is looking at me, and I feel like they willing, they like doing that. So I ask you, would you mind if they come paint with me? So it's like I'm teaching them indirectly. But I used to teach, so I'm planning to open up a school and to teach martial art and other skills to give back to my community, and to get the kids involved and do positive stuff.
I'm glad to hear you say that, because that's what I was going to ask you next. Was you going to think about opening up something where the kids can come in to learn how to start painting, murals and stuff like that? Some type of because that's a skill and a talent that can be learned.
Correct.
Even though I know yours is God gift, because God give all us a gift.
Correct.
People just have to find out what that gift is, because when people start drawing, they start drawing from young. Because I know my brother, he used to draw. He passed away here about a week ago, but when he was young, he used to draw all the time because he would always be scribbling on the wall or on the desk or wherever he was at. He was always drawing something, everything. And in school, the same stuff, getting in trouble. You know, my father had to go to the school because he's drawing on something in the school. And, you know, he could really design good. And we tried to convince him to go into like maybe being an architect or something, but he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He just said it's a hobby. He just liked doing it. It's a hobby. But nobody taught him how to do it.
Wow. And it's interesting because, like we say, you know, everyone has a testimony, right? And teaching these young kids to the artful skill, they can always bring their story out in drawing.
In drawing, most definitely.
They can express themselves by drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely.
Because I always felt like a lot of kids that you see getting in trouble, like you said, even though maybe the father's not in the home, but most of the time you got a strong mother in the home. It's not a father. You know, they don't mind kicking you behind just like the father did or whatever, correct. You know. And we as parents, I feel that we have to stay more on top of our kids than what we do. You need to know where your kids are at a certain time. They need to be home. When dark, I always said to my daughter, you can't be outside when dark comes. You understand? But when that sun is going down, you better be making your way up the steps or whatever. I'm not interested in your friends can stay out late to 9 and 10 o'clock. I don't have anything to do with what their parents want them to do. I say, but you have rules. My rule is you be home before it get dark, because when you leave school, I never said you could come straight home, which that's what we used to have to do with our parents. But, you know, you try to give them a little leeway or whatever. You can hang with your friends, you know, for a while and stuff like that. But you better be home before it get dark or whatever. And even if they're going out at night, I need to know where you're going. Don't leave here and don't tell me where you're going, because if something happens, I won't know where to go look for you.
Not my Haitian parents.
I'm tell the police to go look for you when I don't know where you're going.
Not my Haitian parents. Even though you're 21 and 30 years old,
they want to know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But it's weird.
Even when you get old, you should still look. I don't leave my house unless I tell somebody where I'm going.
Exactly. It's funny.
I don't leave my house unless I tell someone where I'm going, because people be knocking you in the head and everything.
Exactly.
Somebody needs to know who you left with and where you are going.
Exactly.
You ain't just because you maybe, you know, in your 20s or 30s, you need to tell somebody where you're going.
Yeah. They so worried about who's being nosy, who's trying to be nosy, who wants, you know, for the wrong reasons. But I echoed, you know, what you say, Lottie, because you remember they used to have that commercial on, right? I think it used to come on like about 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where
you know where your kids are?
I used to literally say, yes, I do.
Yes, I know where mine are. They're in the room. That's where they are. Yeah. Because the young people now, I see them on the street at 10, 11, 12 o'clock. 10 years old. 10 and 11-year-old, 12 kids. They on the street at 11 and 12 o'clock. I used to go outside and water my grass at 11 and 12 o'clock at night, and they would be up and down the street. And I'm saying, where are they going?
I see them
out this time of night when they have to go to school the next day. Do they ever know that they out this time of night? I think that has a lot to do with it, is because they have too much freedom.
Correct.
Too light.
Still now, I'm married with 2 kids. My mom always be like, make sure you get home. Don't come home late. Make sure 9 o'clock you home. I'm 42 years old. My mom still calling me, be like, make sure don't stay home late. So it's all, you know, it's all, you know, how you grew up, your ethnic background, the culture, all that, you know, play a big role on the way they behave out there, you know. So
climax we're living in.
Yeah,
the times that we're living, things are happening outside, and you don't know, everything's unpredictable. You know.
Well, but the thing about it is, I hope that, you know, something will change, and I don't know. I mean, I know one thing, we got to stay on our knees praying. That's the first thing we got to be doing. But I just think, you know, it still starts in the home. I know parents are busy. I know they working. Some of them are working more than one job or whatever. But sometimes you got to weigh the options. Is it worth working all the time? or is it worth spending some time with your kids? Because to me, when the kids are acting out like that, it's because they're looking for attention. That's what they're looking for.
Correct.
And then if they're not getting it at home, they're gonna start looking for it on the outside.
But Lottie, sometimes these parents can't wait till they become adults to start being a parent. They got to be a parent from day one.
From day one.
Too many parents are too busy trying to be their kid's friend and hang out to the club and,
exactly.
Things.
Exactly. You
True.
can't be the child. You can be not a friend, but you can be the kind of parent, and you want to be that kind of parent that your child can come to you to talk to you about anything, so they don't have to be running to someone else to talk about it. I think we need to build that type of relationship with our children. That if anything happens, you come to me, regardless of whether I'm gonna beat you or knock you in the head or what. You still come to me to tell me, because I used to tell my daughter all the time when she got in trouble in school, you better tell me what you did before I get to the school. So I know how to handle it when I get to the school. You understand? Because you done told me the truth, so I know what to do when I get up there with the principal or whatever. But if you lying to me and everything,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I know. Look, I went up Southern parents. My daughter was cutting school, and I went up there. She gonna tell me she wasn't cutting school. The principal said she was cutting school. She thought the principal didn't know what he was talking about. I took my pocketbook and commenced beating her all over his office and stuff. He looked at me. I mean, shit, you know you're not supposed to be hitting on the kids. I say, you called me, I didn't call you. And he won't go down the door and close the door.
Hey, Miss Sharon, you like from doing all that, trust me, your daughter, she's gonna grow up, become a role model to other kids. Cause you train her, you get definitely.
Oh yeah, she's 39 now, Kenny. She's 39 years old now.
You see
She's
that?
she got a good job. She went to college.
If it wasn't through youth or your discipline and the way you give her all the education, otherwise she was gonna become somebody different.
Look, I was a copycat of my father and my brother. My father didn't play. He didn't mean kicking you or knocking you out. Like these kids that talk back to their parents today, if I had talked back to my father like that, I would have had missing teeth, missing eyes, and everything would have been missing.
It's funny that Kenny mentioned culture earlier because, a lot of when the kids came from Panama, it was a whole different atmosphere, whole different thing with the school, the kids, and everything. And I'm like, I had to put a stop right away. So I've never had those problems. My kids are grown now. But it's interesting. It has to start from day one.
Yes. And you know what, Kenny and Vanessa, I have learned that kids appreciate you saying something to them because kids want discipline. Don't misunderstand them. They want discipline. They want someone to say something to them. They want someone to act like they care for them and really care for them. I learned this experience from working for the Board of Education, and then when I dealt with the kids and the parents and stuff like that, and they would be acting up, and you just talk to them in a way, letting them know this behavior is not for you. You're not going to get anywhere acting this way. We love you. We don't want you acting like. That's all they want to hear. They just want to hear some kind words and kind discipline. For you giving it to them, and they appreciate it because then later on they'll come back and thank you, and you don't even expect you. And when they come back and say, "I want to thank you for what you said to me," or whatever. Because see, when I was working for the Board of Ed, I didn't play with them kids. They said something out of the way. I would tell them, if you don't shut your mouth, this is what I'm going to do. But it's go tell your parents and let them come back.
They was listening.
They will listen.
You talk back to the principal.
They will
don't
listen.
talk back to the teacher and the principal. You don't do that.
Well, I just need to just look at my kids. And I was like,
No, but that's so bad. But these kids didn't care what their parent looked at them or whatever, because they would tell the parent what they were going to do to them.
I don't know what they're doing to them now, but I know how I used to deal with them. I didn't have
That's what I said. That's because you was a strong, disciplined parent, but all parents was not like that. They would let the kids talk back to them, because I even had to say to a parent one day in the office, "You sitting there letting him talk back to you like that?" And she said, "Oh, well, you can't be hitting on kids, Miss Shannon." I said, "Who told you that? What law told you that?" The law
they
said
didn't tell her not to leave a mark.
That's what the law said. It didn't say don't discipline them.
Exactly.
So I turned around and told the kid, open your mouth one more time. And I'm going to bust you in the mouth myself. He didn't open his mouth.
Miss
He
Sharon,
didn't
don't
say
play
a
that.
word. And I said to the parent, why didn't he cuss me out? Why didn't he cuss me out? I'm not his mother. You were the mother. But he never said anything back to me.
It
He's
would
doing
never.
worse than that at home.
Correct.
He's doing worse than that at home.
And I said to her, I said, if you don't get him under control, by the time he was 13, I said, by the time he gets 16, 17, he's going to be beating you up. That's what he's going to do.
And that's what a lot of these parents are living in fear, living in the house.
True.
They're in fear of their kids.
They're afraid of their own kids. They're afraid of their own kids. No, like I told my daughter, the day that I'm afraid of you, they'll take me to Bellevue. I mean, I'm not even worried about it because I know it's not even happening.
It's funny, because you got one, right? I used to tell my kids, if you all think about it, you better all come together one time. You gotta come together.
Look, let me tell you, if they call the police on me, I always told my daughter, I said, if you call the police on me, by the time they get here, I will be beat you up before they get here. Exactly. And that way, when they arrest me, I won't have a problem because now I'm not being arrested for something that I didn't do.
You're reason to go to jail for.
The second thing is, you will not be coming back to my house.
Exactly.
You cannot live in my house again. Go to the group home, and this way you can live with them. Because see, here you had your own room, you had your own clothes, all of that kind of stuff. So now all of that's gone. Because you're not going to stay with me and can't be disciplined. So you can forget about that. We don't play that. I don't play that here.
It sort of has to do with culture. That's exactly what I was saying. So the way you grew up, you pass it along to your kids. So the other kids have been, misbehaving. They don't have that. They feel like they could treat anyone the way they want.
Yes.
So they're not afraid of nobody. So therefore, they're acting like a fool.
Look,
correct.
You have to be a parent all their life.
Yes.
Correct.
All their life. I was still afraid of my parents up to the time they died. I was still afraid. If my father said something to me, I did what he told me. And I was a grown man woman. If he said told me something, I'm sitting there looking and listening to whatever. And then if I did say something back to him, he would be like, are you talking back to me? I'd be like, no, sir, I'm not talking about you. I thought we was having a disagreement. I love that show. But he was like, you talking back to me, But hey, look, the world has changed now. Yeah. Kenny.
Oh, yes.
Thank you again. And look, people are interested. I told them that you had a website. They was asking me if you had a website. So we'll have the website up for them, so they'll know about the website and everything. And truthfully, I'm kidding, but I do want you to paint something on my gates and stuff. My yard and stuff like that, right? And if you do put your program together, please let us know.
Oh, yes.
I know a lot of young people that could benefit from the program, because I think all of our kids need to be taught some kind of talent if they don't have it. But like I say, everybody has a talent. It just needs to be brought out of them. Yeah. And this is a good thing as another talent, because every time the kids are growing up, all they want them to be is lawyers and police officers and doctors. It's like there's no other talent that the kids can be. And I'm just so glad now we got so many other options that we can tell our kids, to go in and study in. Like I just wish I had known about forensic, earlier, to introduce the kids, that don't go in that field. So now I'm just glad that we have so many other career options that our kids can go in. And I want to thank you again for your talent and for you to be in the Brooklyn ambassador, and I mean, anything that we can do to support you or help you, keeping it real with Shannon, is here. All you got to do is ask. And
all you got to do, Sharon, just put sign a check, put 0000000.
Yeah, she can put on zero, but nothing in front of the zero.
Kenny, that's the one that can write the check for you.
I love this show.
That's the one that can write the check. But
Sharon, I love the show. And I love to come back. And you guys are amazing. I make up my day. And you know, it is an honor to have you guys. You know, to be with you guys, to having me, and I would love to come back. Thank you.
I hope you do come back to tell us everything else you were doing, and don't forget to let us know when you're gonna do the ceremony with Chadwick Boseman, a mural when you were working on getting the whole cast to come. So please don't leave us out. Now make sure we are there.
We would love to be there to support you.
I have 2 events coming up. One is for John Lewis. The mural is almost done. That's the one I would love to have you guys there. And tomorrow, tomorrow it's George Floyd's birthday. So tomorrow it's gonna be held in front of my mural. They having a candlelight visual for George Floyd. It starts from 3 to 6. 3 to 6, and it's on Flatland East 80th in Brooklyn. So I'll forward you the flyer, and you know, we could invite others.
Oh, okay. His brothers coming. You say East 80th? 80?
Yeah, 80.
Okay.
80.
All right, we're gonna try to make it to that one tomorrow. But definitely, definitely you better make sure I'm at my son's now.
Correct.
Yeah, definitely I have to be there. But any events that you are having, please let me know so I can let everybody else know where they're gonna take place in.
Most definitely. Okay. And I want to thank you for everything.
Okay, then. Take care now.
Thank you.
All right. See y'all later. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon. It's Shannon.